Shalom, back again with another video. And before I begin this lesson, I'd like to begin by giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. I give double honors to my elders and apostles who rule well, where I've learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to you, Akim, you brothers out there laboring, pushing this word out in all truth and in sincerity, presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice. I want to say shalom to you Israelite sisters that may be listening, and also to you Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You may look like these other nations, meaning you may look like a so-called East Indian, may look like a Chinese person, so-called white person even, right? But if your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that means you are of the chosen seed line, right? So what I wanted to do in this lesson today, a lot of brothers have already touched on this topic, but I just wanted to bring a lesson out and read some scriptures and show some clips in this lesson regarding the situation about the SNAP benefits program, which is literally being suspended for the month of November and maybe onwards due to the shutdown or the government shutdown in America, right? And how this is going to affect a lot of people. Now, for the longest time, the Lord has warned or told his men, the men of the Lord, the Israelites that you see out on the highways and hedges, to warn his people. Now, we're going to start in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17, right? Just to bring that point out, that is written in the scriptures, right? So it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. So the Lord set up the men of the Lord, right? The prophets that you see on these highways and hedges, these street corners, bringing out the scriptures, bringing out the Bible, warning the people, right? We've been warning, starting with the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Now, I have to make it known that I am not a part of the Great Millstone camp. However, I do strictly learn only under their doctrine because I believe that they do have the 100% truth, and they are the true men that have been set up by the Lord in these end times to give us the breakdowns and the warnings that the Lord has set forth, right? The true understanding. So the Lord has given us the men, and starting with the apostles of Great Millstone, the head apostles of Great Millstone, and the brothers on down, they've been warning for decades, for years, that the Lord is getting ready to visit this place. This place is set for judgment. 2/3 of our people are going to be put to death. Two people, the wicked men are going to receive their judgment if they don't change and repent. And proud, wicked women are going to receive the same judgment if they don't repent and come back to the Lord, right? But what we get, or what a lot of the people do, is they scoff, meaning that they care not to listen to it. They don't give a damn about, what you're talking about. That's the white man's book. That's, I'm not going to follow after white Jesus, or they are saying that Jesus is white. You know what I mean? Like, they scoff, right? Which is fine, All we're set up to do as men of the Lord is to warn you. So that way, when the day of the Lord comes, you ain't got no legs to stand on. Because you can't turn around and say, well, I didn't hear about it. Because the Lord's just going to say, you remember the Israelites that I set up on the highways and hedges that were screaming at people that you were, you were cursing out or you trying to get them run off the block? Yeah, those are the men that I set up to give you the warning, because obviously they received the Spirit and were compelled to come out and warn their people, because they want their people to live. They want their people to survive, right? But you chose to not listen. So then what? You ain't got a leg to stand on, right? So, as I said, I read Ezekiel 3 and 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Now I want to go over to the book of Matthew, chapter 24. I'm going to start at verse 6, right? Because this is one of the warnings. This is one of those scriptures that a lot of Israelite brothers like to talk about. If you're in the spirit of prophecy, you would have heard this scripture before, right? So this is Matthew 24 and 6. It says, And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Are we not seeing like rumors and hearing of rumors of wars? Like Venezuela right now is in the process of being invaded by America, right? Now, a lot of them say, well, Maduro's, got his drug cartel and he's blah, blah, blah. We all know what it is. It's the oil reserves there. They discovered oil in that area and they want to take it, right? So we understand that, right? And it says, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, right? I'll stop there, right? So nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. You're seeing Russia just launched, or test launched an ICBM. China is up in their military, right? North Korea, you have Iran, you have Israel, the situation in Israel. All these nations are rising up. America getting ready to defend Ukraine, and Britain and Europe defending Ukraine, right? So all these things are happening. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Now the next part is the point of the topic, and I'm going to go through and bring out some clips shortly, right? But I'm going to keep reading. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Now, these things are starting to happen more and more so, right? So you had in the Philippines, in Vietnam, in near Russia, earthquakes in diverse places, right? Even though that's the ring of fire, that area is like classified as the ring of fire, and it's active, right? Active seismic activity in those areas, right? But, in Thailand, for example, they weren't expecting an earthquake in Thailand. Nobody was. But there we have it. A whole earthquake. Boom. Right? And you have the pestilences. We just come out of, the C-19, right? So C-19, obviously, you had that whole situation. Whether you believe it's real or not, I mean, that's here or there. But, you got these pestilences that are being spoken of now, right? The main point, it says, and there shall be famines, right? So the famine, cut and snap benefits is almost like a form of famine, like a man-made famine, because people, I think on the EBT or the SNAP benefits, there's nearly 42 million people that receive these benefits. 42 million people are about to go a whole month without any assistance. Now, what do you think what do you think is gonna happen after that when people ain't got food, right? There's a lot of things when you starve people out, there's a lot of things that you can achieve if you're a wicked dictatorship, right? There's a lot of things when you starve, I think there was a saying, if you want control of the people, like take away their food. You got starving families out there. You could even introduce the micro C-HIP. And people would be willing to take it just for some food, right? Now, I'm not saying that's what this is. I mean, it could potentially be, but you never know, right? Like, who knows what Esau's got under his sleeve, right? Now, I'm going to play some clips, right, regarding the pride of what you see on social media with these people with these EBTs, right? These EBT benefits, SNAP benefits, right? And you're going to see some clips of what people are seeing, right? And I'm going to play you some more clips after that on the response from some of the people that are sick of, people taking advantage, right? So without further ado, I'm going to play the prideful people that are receiving the benefits, and then I'll play the one after. So here we go.
This your girl Quay, and yes, we at Sam's doing the shopping haul. So y'all come along with us, and let's get some stuff out of Sam's. I'm really just gonna be a very short video, just a little tic-tac, boom, bam, you feel me? But yeah, y'all, let's get into it. They got some animal crackers for $8.98, so we just gonna grab one of these. So yeah, my kids like Nutri-Grain bars, so they for a box of 30 seeds for $9.98, so we gonna grab that. We gonna put it on. So yeah, we already started shopping. So we got some chips, some blow pop for the kids, some little bites, some hot chips, some fruit snacks, some Gushers, some powder donuts, oatmeal pies, some honey buns, and yeah. So
y'all take care. Can you take off the sitting room? Yeah, oh yeah. Some waffles. How does it? Oh, no, that's right. You welcome with the 10 I have.
Told her bend it over, let me eat it with some ice. Big dude, baby, she gon' want it all night. Check hole 6 when I need you.
Right? So you see in some cases, they're spending, thousands and boasting like, oh, I got this, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take that. And the people are just getting angry about it, right? People are getting angry. So now I'm gonna play the clips, right? I'm gonna play you some clips that from the other side, the people that are getting angry about the fact that these people are receiving benefits. So check these out.
Say no more snacks on EBT, so you go spend 1K at Sam's, part 1? What do you mean, part 1? God damn!
Ranch, always need blue cheese.
God damn!
This is for my Tiffany plate.
Jesus!
Tiffany! I don't know
Jesus!
if she do, raw okra.
This is the reason why they're getting rid of it. It's a bunch of fat people getting food stamps and then spending it on bullshit. Look at all this. So this is creating a lot of frustration that people are having. They see a person like this who lives in it seems like a relatively nice house, who is clearly overweight, who's getting food stamps and buying a cornucopia of food, and it creates a lot of resentment. Yep.
Grocery day.
Big day, big day.
EBT.
So,
Jesus.
this is all the things we got. This is buggy number 1.
Wait, number 1?
So, when we started, we had 1 buggy. Now we got 3 buggies. Yes.
They got 3 carts. 3 carts, bro. Isn't that Gucci shit? Ain't that one of them expensive ass purses? I don't even know. Let me see if it is. Oh shit.
People with EBT cards are bitching they can't use them anymore to buy Twinkies, ring dings, and ho-hos. I'm sorry, isn't that what landed you on welfare in the first place? I don't think those checks are coming in because you've been eating too much lettuce.
I don't know why I'm not having an aneurysm over people losing their food stamps on November 1st. Here's why.
Come grocery shop with us. Make it go by faster. One of you. This what I pick, and this what he picked.
I tell you what, how about this instead? If you're on food stamps, you get a pre-selected box of meat, bread, rice, food staples, and fruits and vegetables. No more handing you a debit card filled with other people's cash for you to go load up on Oreos. The goal here is to keep you from starving because taxpayers do not need to bankroll your junk food pantry or your health problems.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to stop spending $600-700 a month on my hair and my nails. Oh no, how could I possibly afford diamond grills and diamond necklaces and also get food for my family? Oh no, is this reality I'm feeling? Is this what normal working Americans experience in society? Oh, this is unfair. Give me a fucking break.
Americans are going to lose access to food in just a few days, not because there's no money, but because the Trump administration won't spend the money it already has. Because right now, with this government shutdown dragging on, you have the administration confirming it will not use existing contingency funds to keep food stamp benefits going. Even though that program, SNAP, it feeds more than 42 million Americans. That's 1 out of every 8 Americans, mostly kids, working families, older folks, veterans, and people with disabilities. You've got experts warning right now that this could trigger the worst hunger crisis since the Great Depression. While you have the Democrats asking the USDA to use the money that Congress set aside for this exact situation, the department said that, hey, their hands are tied, with them claiming that the funds are only for emergencies like hurricanes. But here's the thing. That's not what it said before. Earlier, USDA guidance literally said that those same funds should be used to keep SNAP running during a shutdown. But wouldn't you know it, that document has now mysteriously disappeared from their website. So yeah, understand, we are not out of money. We are just watching this Trump government choose who gets to go hungry. That is not a funding problem. That is a priorities problem.
So there you have it. You see that these people ain't happy at the fact that they have to supplement other people's living. You know, they have money coming out of their pockets and all of that other stuff, right? So now what do you have? Right, you have a lot of people, right, that are angry. And again, the men of the Lord are saying, you know, winter is coming. Kevin Samuels made that a statement. You know, ladies, you need to get your affairs in order because winter is coming. But there's such a great divide between men and women nowadays, especially in our community, in the Israelite community. There's a big divide, you know. So, you know, the relationship between the so-called black man and the so-called black woman is broken. It's broken. You know what I mean? Women are angry at men. You know, they don't want to give men, you know, any leeway. The men don't want to deal with the women that got all these kids and all this baggage. You know what I mean? It's a mess, right? Now, what does it say in the scriptures, right? It says, matter of fact, let me go to Isaiah chapter 31. Start there. Isaiah 31 and start from the top, right? Now this says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh, right? So it's talking about, woe to them that go down to Egypt, for help. Help is like a benefit, right? You go to the government for benefits because the government's got money. The government's strong. The police force, the military, the armies, they're strong and they defend a strong black woman, right? So-called black woman, should I say? They, and men have been saying like, girl, you need to be careful, right? But what do women say? You can't tell me what to do. Get your money up. Get your money up. Just all that pride, Kevin Samuels obviously telling these women that you're not 10s. You can't classify yourself as a 10. Like rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm a 10.
Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you
10.
What? Yeah, let's get back to reality.
No, I'm in reality.
No, you're not in reality.
I'm in reality.
You're not in reality. If you're gonna be a 10, we can end this. Because that's not reality. You're not a supermodel.
Looking like Sloth from the Goonies. It's like, come on, man. Like, Kevin Samuels is trying to help you. You need to hit the gym. You need to, make yourself presentable. You need to relax on the attitude. You need to, you know what I mean? And women were like, no, you can't. And that's what made him so popular. Women, love calling up his show to argue with him. Can't tell us what to do. Can't tell us what to, what to wear. I am a 10. I am a 10, And Kevin Samuels said, look, winter is coming. Winter is coming.
Don't come running back to the regular degglers.
2025 has not been a great year for black women, especially in the private sector. Many women have lost over 300,000 jobs, especially in the public sector, and a lot of ladies are having a hard time trying to get back on their feet. And this reminds me of a famous phrase that Kevin Samuels warned us all about.
You will stand out from the rest of the crowd because those are the kind of women most men want to end up dealing with. Men don't just want to deal with you just because winter's coming. Not talking about, well, winter's coming now. I guess I can stay here until this next hot girl summer. There is not going to be any more hot girl summer. This is it.
Winter is coming is actually a phrase from some other movie, but that Kevin just kind of remixed it and put it into perspective on his old live streams. And basically, winter is coming means that it's going to come a time when women will basically run out of resources or run out of looks or in a certain way hit the wall. And then at that particular time, they will be needing men. And then when that time comes, men are just not going to be interested.
It says, woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help. Right? Winter is coming. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Right? It says, and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh. Right? So they don't call on the Lord, right, to help them out of their situation. They trusted in Esau, Edom, the government, Trump, right? It says, verse 2, says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity, right? So, again, the Lord's getting ready to come. And like we say, warn the house of Israel. That's what we've been doing for the longest time, is warning the house of Israel. Now, I want to get into actually, maybe you just go back to Isaiah 32. I'm going to read verse 9. So Isaiah 32 and 9. This is what it says. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, and the gathering shall not come. Like all that pride that you were spewing, all that hate you were spitting towards your men, right? And I'm not saying the men, because there are wicked men out there. There are a lot of evil men that do wicked things to women, right? But a majority of the men that do the wickedness is the men that you're interested in. Because the good man that works a 9 to 5 is not is not interesting to you. He's boring, is what I've heard women say. He's boring. He don't excite me. But the thug that beats women and scams people, that's exciting. That's what women want, right? Okay, cool. That's what you want. That's what you get. But don't blame all men for the bad choices you made. He made you a single mother. Now you're mad at the guy that's never really dealt with a woman like that, because obviously he's not good enough. He's boring. You don't get a second look. He ain't got money like that. You know what I mean? Don't get mad at that guy, because he ain't even done nothing, right? But it says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. So that's pointing towards you women, right? You've been careless. You've been throwing your body around, giving it to Pookie, Ray Ray, Tom, Dick, and Harry. And it's just like, you know what I mean? What do you expect? Do you think you was just going to be able to go and live, without any, any accountability, any sort of, the word escapes me. Repercussions. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for. Repercussions. Well, you don't think there was going to be any repercussions for your actions, right? So I'm going to keep reading. This is verse 11, Isaiah 32:11. It says, tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins, right? So now I'm going to play some more clips. I'm going to show you exactly why the brothers, have been warning you and what's coming now. This is what's coming. So you're going to have to prepare for it, right?
I don't think women understand the gravity of what's going on. Trump is taking away everything. He taking away the food stamps. He taking away the government assistance. He taking away the unemployment. He doing something with the child support. You know what that's basically the government saying? They're breaking up with you. So all that men ain't shit is about to be very interesting the next couple years.
So some states are warning that food stamp benefits could get cut off on November 1st if the government stays shut down. And apparently there are a whole bunch of people who have no idea how to exist without mooching off the taxpayer, who are absolutely losing their minds and threatening to start looting stores if they can't get stuff for free.
Y'all better stay the fuck out of my way in these stores. I'm walking out with carts and I'm not paying for shit. Trump, if you won't motherfuckers start looting, it's gonna happen.
Who ain't getting that damn food stamps in damn November? Cause I'm getting my damn shit. I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my groceries.
And if you gotta take those groceries, go ahead and take them. If you gotta walk smooth out the door, just take them.
So can I just say that if you are an able-bodied person who has no excuse not to have a job and pay for your own stuff, and you're getting told that you can't mooch off of taxpayers, that brings me joy. Also, if your response to being told that you might have to pay for your own things is to just go start stealing cartloads of stuff from Walmart, you're in luck, because I hear they serve 3 square taxpayer-funded meals in prison.
So this video is specifically for the people who do not understand how this is going to affect them come November 1st if the government does not reopen and get the funding going for SNAP and WIC, okay? So if this entire scenario, the you I am referring to is the person who is the closed-minded mindset, who doesn't think it's going to affect them because they're stable right now. Well, fun fucking fact, it's going to affect you, along with everybody else. And so for this, you're gonna keep your eyes closed, but not yet. Because you might think, that losing government assistance only affects the poor. But you are so fucking wrong, because I want to walk you through this. Close your eyes now, and picture it's November 1st. Close your eyes. The government shutdown has not ended, SNAP and WIC funding ran out, and most safety nets just vanished overnight for a lot of people. Let's talk about what that actually looks like. Keep your eyes closed, because we're going to go to the grocery store. Picture a grocery store, okay? The line at the register looks normal, just like it does any day you go grocery shopping. Until it doesn't. A mom just swiped her WIC card for milk, cereal, and formula. Just those 3 things. Declined. She tries again thinking maybe it's a glitch, because the WIC system does have glitches from time to time. Declined. The cashier apologizes softly, but you can feel where you are in line, the tensions spread. The people in line start realizing what this means. It started. 2 lanes over, you hear the snap machine go down. Now nobody knows which cards are going to work and which ones don't. Within hours, those same stores are now all out of the cheap staples. I'm talking the beans, the rice, and the bread. People who rely on assistance are leaving with nothing. People who don't rely on assistance, they panic buy. Because fear always spreads faster than any virus ever has. Keep your eyes closed. By the end of the week, the store owner no longer can make payroll. His customers were 40% SNAP users. He's now losing thousands a day. The delivery driver stopped showing up because fuel's too expensive and demand just collapsed. The trucker who brought your groceries the last week, he's now sitting at a truck stop 2 states away wondering how to pay for his diesel because his load just got canceled and he's not going to get paid. So this is what economists mean when they say interconnected systems. The poor don't collapse in isolation. The whole structure caves inwards.
Let me not get my SNAP benefits in November, and I'm going to show them exactly why it's called SNAP benefits.
So something like the purge might be taking place on Saturday, November the 1st, because you guys know that food stamps will no longer be given out to those people who normally get them. This is a big deal because 47 million Americans rely on food stamps to eat every month. And out of those 47 million, a lot of them have families, a lot of them have kids. And what do you think people do when they can't eat? You think they're just gonna say, oh, well, I concede to life, I'm just gonna starve? No, people have to survive. So you know what people are gonna do now? They are going to steal food and steal money to buy food. So I can imagine how crazy the crime will be if they do not get these people their government assistance. Before y'all say, well, those people need jobs, they need jobs. Most of them have 78% to be exact of the 47 million actually has a job. They're employed. Seems like they just don't get paid enough to provide for them and their family. And so I can imagine that next Saturday, if the government shutdown continues, that we will have some type of purge-like thing that happens in America. Mark my words. No one's just gonna willingly starve. No one. And there's gonna be so many people who try to get involved with people who are trying to eat and feed their family. Hey, listen, I'm not the police. Do what y'all do, okay? Because I understand that people are going to have to survive and they're going to have to feed their families and their kids and all those different things. So do what you do.
Right? There you have it. Let me just mark these scriptures. But yeah, so there you have it, right? You can see that these women are panicking now, right? This is Isaiah 32. I'm going to read verse 12. It says, they shall lament for the teats. The teats is them SNAP benefits, right? The EBT. Right, that's the teats. You're lamenting. You're in like, I can't believe this is what they're doing. But yeah, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars. Yeah, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city. Right. So yeah, you're getting mashed up right now. Right. And then you got men out here, the good men, like, because, the scammers are going to be scammers. They're going to be wicked and they're going to be, they're going to reach their judgment. Don't worry, their judgment's coming. 2/3, they're about to receive their judgment. And the majority of the women make up the 2/3 as well, right? So let's say, let's see, right? So it says, matter of fact, let me go to the book of Micah, right? So this is Micah chapter 7. Verse 10, because this is where it comes, right? The so-called black woman has become the enemy of the so-called black man, right? You weaponize law enforcement, you weaponize, your pride over the man, right? Because you don't want the man to lead you, whatever the case may be, right? So it says this in Micah 7:10. It says, then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. When you look at the mire of the streets, obviously it's not anything nice. But these women, you have clips, which I can show here, talking about they want to sell, their goods, should I say. They're going to sell their goods.
At this fucking point, if the cost of living keeps fucking going up, I got something for sale. And just know I'm not talking about shit in this apartment. if they give me one more motherfucking price range, whether it's food, gas, fucking bills, I'm sick of it all. I'm going to be selling it, and I'm not motherfucking playing. Just know that.
So this is the Lord starting to bring his judgment upon you women because of the pride, you know? The pride is, you know, what do they say? Pride goeth before a fall, roughly paraphrasing, right? So, matter of fact, let me get in the book of Isaiah, go back to the book of Isaiah, chapter 32. I'll read from verse 2, right? It says here, right? Isaiah 32 and verse 2, it says, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Right? So those good men that you know had to do it on their own, had to, you know, live their life because they didn't have any help from their women. The women, you know, don't want to deal with broke men. Those men are stable, right? Especially the men of the Lord. The men of the Lord are in a stable position, or gonna be in a real stable position, because the Lord said he's going to look after his men, right? We can read that in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah got some gems. In the book of Isaiah, I'm gonna start at Isaiah 65 and 11. It says, but ye are they that forsake the Lord Yahweh, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword. And this is talking about the wicked, right? It says, therefore will I, and that's the 2/3 as well. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Right? So, you know, when you got the Israelites out here on the highways and hedges trying to give you the warning, and you scoffed and you laughed at them, told them they can't tell you anything, they're annoying, you know, you lied on them, you threatened them, you know, like you didn't, you know, that's the Lord trying to speak to you through the men. The Lord is trying to speak to you through the men, the Israelites, and you chose not to listen to them, but you decided, I'm going to eat pork. I'm literally going to go eat some bacon right now. I'm going to go eat a ham sandwich right now. I'm going to eat pork. I'm going to eat crab, shrimp, and lobster. I'm going to go to Red Lobster right now. You know? I'm going to sleep with whoever I want. I'm going to continue to do that. Right? So it says, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. The Lord didn't delight in those things, right? You chose it. So when the Lord comes, it says, therefore, in verse 13, therefore, thus saith the Lord, power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Gonna be a hungry month in November. A lot of starving, hungry people, right? It says, behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. It says, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. It says, behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. That's right. I'll leave it there. Right? So this is what we're saying, you know? It's going to get so bad out here, right? Because you got people even talking about, you know, possibly, well, if my SNAP benefits don't come through, then I'm robbing the store. You don't think they got that plan? They got that covered? They're going to have them armed militia, them people that can't stand the fact that you are receiving these free benefits, and now you're going to rob the stores. They don't like that type of behavior. And who do you think, you know, who do you think they're talking about? These people in these poor communities that are going to go through, start stealing. Yep, they're going to be met with these militia forces or whoever, you know, the reserves, the military reserves or whatever, you know, the reservists, right? That's what's going to happen, right? And you can, it's crazy how life is about to change for a lot of people, right? Women are going to have to do what they need to do in order to survive. Get ready for survival mode, right? Because this is what's coming. This is what we've been warning you of, right? The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, right? It's long suffering, roughly paraphrasing, you know what I mean? Like all of that, yeah, is the Lord trying to warn you, trying to speak to you. But because of your hatred towards, I don't know, I guess the so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native American, you know, your hatred towards them men, you don't want to listen to them. Because obviously now you have the righteous man standing up and proclaiming like this is the Lord saying this to us, right? The Lord is showing us and we're explaining it to you and you're not listening because you have some grudge against the men, right? Well, guess what? The Lord don't care about none of that, you know? If you don't take heed, you don't listen, guess what? You're going to be judged with the rest of them. You're going to die like the rest of them, right? So now, obviously, I think I've played all the clips. But like I say, man, you know, the Lord is getting ready to judge this place, right? Let me grab that scripture. Right, in fact, let me read this, right? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. It says, behold, and I'm going to start from the top, verse 1. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. It's exactly what I was saying. You know, the Lord has spoken to his men to give you the warning, right? It says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, right? It says, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. The unbelief, incredulity means unbelief. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So we don't care how you speak about us. You don't like us. You know, we're crazy. We're a cult, whatever. We don't care about how you feel. This says, verse 4, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, here's that word famine again, death and destruction. It says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. It says, therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. It says, behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Now the souls of the just are the men of the Lord, the elect, the ones that are out on the highways and hedges, telling you that the Lord is getting ready to mess this place up, right? Right, I'm going to jump down also. I'm going to read the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. I'm going to read verse 14 on down. Because obviously you got the people talking about we're going to loot, we're going to steal, we're going to do what we have to do to survive. Well, this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe, and woe means destruction. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another people with swords in their hand. You know, you're going to have race wars, you know, what do they call it? Class wars. You're going to have civil wars, all kinds of things going off, right? It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You know, that could be your martial law, you know, martial law being enacted. You know, it could be, you know, you got the militias guarding this point. You know, you ain't a Proud Boy or a Christian, what do they call them? Christian nationalist, then you ain't coming up here, boy. You know, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. It says, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, right? It says, verse 19, which is the point, and I'll end it here. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, the weapon, modern day gun, whatever, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So we're heading into some crazy times right now, right? Time is running short. So if this lesson resonated with you, I would definitely recommend or suggest that you seek the Lord, come back to the Lord while you have that opportunity, because once the doors of mercy are closed, which are getting ready to close, there's going to be no help. You're not going to have any help, and you're going to have to face the wrath of the Heavenly Father. You're going to have to face that wrath. So, like I said, I'm giving you the warning just as I've been commanded to, right? So, I pray that this lesson has been edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. And with that, I'll end it there, and it's on to the next one. Lord willing, Shalom.